you looking for valuable business advice to reach that 7-figure revenue mark? Do you want actionable tips to properly navigate through every business challenge you encounter along the way? Let Tersh Blissett and Josh Crouch be your guide in getting you to the top here at Service Business Mastery. Tune in as they sit down with world-renowned authors in business, leadership, and personal growth who share valuable insights about management, marketing, pricing, human resources, and so much more. Let their nuggets of wisdom gold guide you in owning a thriving, profitable, and ever-growing business. Here are your hosts, Tersh and Josh.
Hello, everyone out there in podcast world. Hope you're having a wonderful day. You're listening to or watching the Service Business Mastery podcast. This podcast is focused on service business owners, managers, and technicians who are considering becoming business owners themselves. One of the things that we get asked all the time is about finding good help. And we've all come to the realization that we're going to have to train from within. We're going to have to get green people who have a great personality and are technically inclined, but then train from within. So I'm super excited to have Joe on the show today. Most people that are listening to this or watching this, they know who Joe Cunningham is. But for those who do not know who Joe is, can you give us a quick introduction of you? And
yeah, give us a quick intro of your last 30 years.
Okay. I'll give you the quick
Oh, yeah. And on this episode here, we done talked for 5 minutes. I got a little timer on here. 20 minutes for us.
Okay,
Never mind.
Now the hot seat.
All right. I'll give you the quickest version I can. I got into the air conditioning business probably 30 years ago. I was one of the first people in the industry that ever sold $1 million worth of replacement equipment in a year. Got a lot of attention from distributors and manufacturers, and as a result, they asked me to help them. I started doing consulting and training in the heating and air conditioning business back then. I first went to work for Carrier as a trainer, excuse me. And through Carrier, I worked for them for a while. I wrote a couple of training programs for them. I went from Carrier to a company called RetroTech. I sold blower doors and gave other seminars all over the United States. I wrote some of the things that they still use today. And from RetroTech, I went to Contractor Success Group. I was president of Future University. Future University was the training arm for Contractor Success Group, which was one of the forerunners of the best practice groups that we have now. When Contractor Success Group came up with the idea for service experts, they asked me to help them. So I went to work for service experts before there actually was a service experts. And I did the first nationally broadcast, regularly televised training program for them. And they wanted
when was that?
That would have been 94.
What did you use for that?
Well, the train company had a good relationship with service experts. So they had 4 television stations.
Oh, dang.
And they told us we could use one whenever we wanted. So we went to Tyler, Texas once a week. We sent in a big uplink truck like they use for the football games, and they just beamed us up. We had 137 companies.
Beam Scott.
We had 137 companies. All the companies had a satellite dish and receiver, and that's how we did it. It was, for the biggest part, a live show. We had a series that we called Best of the Best out of the 137 companies. One week we'd bring in the best dispatcher. One week we'd bring in the best sales manager. The next month we'd bring in the best person at dispatching, whatever. And it was a talk show format, kind of like Oprah for air conditioning.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we did that. And then once a month we also had an outside speaker. We brought in Tom Hopkins. We brought in Ken Hamblin. We brought in Mark Victor Hansen. And we brought in a lot of people. It was a pretty exciting program.
Yeah.
And really the only one that was done like that out there then.
And so y'all, that was back before service experts were tied in with Linux.
That's right. It
Okay.
was before the Linux
Gotcha.
buyout. And then I left service experts and we started doing consulting work and training on our own. And at that time, I guess Train and American Standard were my biggest clients.
Mhm.
And they'd bring their dealers in through the distribution network. And I would do training programs for them. I did sales, marketing, accounting, communication skills. technician customer communications, that kind of thing. And I used to keep a track on how many technicians had come through my programs, and I lost count in 2008. We hit 35,000. So
Wow,
I've done a lot since then.
that's crazy.
And now we do still training on the non-technical side, and we've also got a technical training school in Houston.
So you
where
do
we-
non-technical training as well?
Yes, we do some non-technical training.
Okay, can you dive into that a little bit? What does that entail?
Sure, it's technician customer communication skills, how you talk to a customer, how you run what we call the perfect service call, step by step, how you take a customer through or take a technician and go through that process, what to say, how to say it, where you should be on the call, and that kind of process.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
and that's all part of the same training, right?
Well, yeah, we give some of that training with our technical side, because if I teach a technician how to work on equipment, he's also got to be able to talk to a customer, because I've never seen a condensing unit that can write a check. So he's going to have to talk to that customer sooner or later.
It'll be nice once we get that that set up, that feature set up, so they can start writing us a check.
That would be cool.
So what's the whole program look like? If someone's out there listening and be like, yeah, I want to send my guy to some technical training where they can learn some soft skills as well. What does that
Okay.
program look like for them?
Our program for the technical side, fast program, it's 10 days nonstop. There is no day off, because contractors send them from all over the country and Canada to Houston for us to train.
Yeah.
When I was with Contractor Success Group, we also had a similar type program, and it's still being done in Little Rock, Arkansas. And there does an excellent job. But we used to do 5 days a week. So we take the guys Monday through Friday, give them Saturday and Sunday off, and then we had to do Monday through Friday again. Well, you're sending me these guys that had never been out of town unsupervised with a company credit card, and on Friday they'd find every bar with no windows. So it would take
Every
me
bar with no
it would
windows.
take me
That's my
to-
bars.
from Wednesday till Wednesday to get them back where we were last Friday. So it was a total waste of time and expenses. So
Yeah.
for the good of the technician, so he really absorbs the knowledge, and for the good of
Let's
the
get that
company,
total
we do it in
immersion.
10 days
Yeah.
total, and there's no stop.
Yeah.
They have homework every night, and we make sure they do it all.
So how long is their day?
The typical day runs from 8 in the morning till 4.
Okay.
But because all of our programs are customized, and even though we follow a curriculum, due to the background of the technicians that we get that are coming in, some have a little more or a little less experience. So the typical day is probably 60 to 65% hands-on. We do the lecture portion, and then we cover a topic, and then let's go do it.
Hands on.
So we go into the lab. And what really makes this work, and what makes our everybody, is at the end of the day, we give all of the technicians what we call a personal learning experience form. And on the personal learning experience form, they tell us what they learned today that they found most valuable, what they learned today that they will be able to really enhance their career with, how they plan to use it. And then the most important question of all is, what did we go over today that you need more review on? So every day our instructor goes through the entire list of what the guys need review on, and tomorrow morning, that's where we start. It's a no.
Are they giving that?
Behind
Are they giving that form at the beginning of the day so they know what questions are going to be asked?
No, they're giving it
Okay.
at the end of every day, because we haven't gone through everything yet.
Right. The thought process that I have with that is like throughout the day, sometimes if I'm thinking about, oh, I need to revisit this, I'll like take a little note. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, nope, 4 o'clock, I'm good. I'm out. Yeah, like, I don't need to remember any of this stuff. I don't need to revisit any of this stuff.
Well, we had that thought, and part of the process of training a tech is to get him past the 8 to 4 mentality.
That's a good point, because we don't do 8 to 4.
No, and we tell them, at 4 o'clock, your brain does not turn off.
Yeah.
From 4 o'clock on, that's your time for personal development. That's your time to take the things that you learned today and make sure they really stick. If you think you can work in a career where the time clock goes off and your brain goes off with it, you expect to do better work. How's that going to work? It just doesn't work in reality.
No, you're gonna be a time clock puncher.
Yeah,
and
Is
that's not
that
even.
why you set the clock for the episode?
Yeah.
It's the constant search of mediocrity working that way.
It is, honestly. It's like we see guys sitting at a supply house at the parts counter, and they're like, if I just sit here for about 10 more minutes, they won't send me on another call.
That's
like,
right.
No, not at all. That's not acceptable behavior.
The business of serving customers, and that means
Yeah,
when
we don't want to
when
put
they
people off.
need it, we can't
Yeah.
sit
This
there
is
and
a
not
service
take care of 'em.
business.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And a lot of them come into it. We get technicians from all backgrounds. So you really have to understand the mentality that's been drilled into them before they come. You know,
Are any of them actually like 100% green? Like, hey, guess what? We hired them this week, and they're coming to you next week.
oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the first test is, can you spell AC?
Can you fog a mirror?
If the guy can spell AC, we don't ask him to spell furnace. There's too many letters. But if
Touche.
he can do that and he has any technical aptitude at all, he'll work. But sometimes we have to overcome some mindset things if they
Mhm.
work in an environment like in a restaurant where it's hour to hour.
Good
and
point.
then they think they shut off at the end of
Yeah.
the day.
Mhm.
So we do talk about life skills and how to learn and how to put this stuff into your brain so it sticks and you can grow in your career
Mhm.
instead of just stagnate like so many people.
So let
do.
me ask you this: as a business owner, we have a tool list requirement.
Mhm.
And then if they don't have the tools, we will basically front them the money for it and then take it out. Is there a tool list requirement before coming to the class? Like, is there, with consistency of learning, like, are you doing a lot of Bluetooth tools with Measure Quick and stuff like that? Or are you doing analog, like learn the reason why behind? Because like, I've heard both trains of thought. I love the field piece job link probes, love them to death. I love how they integrate into Measure Quick, and they can basically, like, you can literally have a monkey doing this, putting it all on there, and then Measure Quick will spit out data and tell you what this is, all the potential problems here. But then they don't understand the why behind it if you do it that way. And I understand that thought process too. So there's some people who say analog all the way. You need some yellow jackets, old school, blue and red gauges, manifolds. Don't like throw the Bluetooth stuff in the trash. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my concern is one day the battery goes dead.
They go dead all the time.
And unless the guy knows why it's telling him this, then knowing what it says is of limited value.
Yeah.
When they start class, one thing that's different than everybody else. This has been a learning experience over the years. We give them a basic set of hand tools when they get there.
Okay.
That goes along with their tuition.
Gotcha.
They get a tool bag. They get their basic tools set up: nut drivers, screwdrivers, crescent wrench, channel locks, that kind of thing.
They have to use nut drive? They don't get the Milwaukee impact?
No Milwaukee
impacts, like, and just ram in every screw into a condenser lid and strip all the screws out?
No,
they don't get to do that?
We don't let them do that.
Oh man.
You get to teach them.
They can upgrade to that
Well,
later.
come on over, because I'll teach you how to do that. That's every one of my guys do that. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
but that's what happens. They get the basic hand tools. They get a clamp meter, and they get a set of analog gauges. They understand the why. If I teach them on that, it's easy to take them to digital. If I teach them on digital, and then something happens, you can't go back and figure out why.
Revert back to that.
That's why everything we do is the basics. And I've got them for 10 days. So 10
Do
days.
they learn like a PT chart in that time period? Okay.
Here's what they learn in 10 days. They learn sequence of operation, which
that's
is
big.
the basics of
That's
everything.
massive. Yeah.
They learn how to use their gauges. They learn how to use their meters. They learn how to braze. They learn how to charge a system. They learn how to reclaim refrigerant. They learn to figure subcool and superheat. And because we've taught them sequence of operation, they learn basic troubleshooting skills. Now, if the guy gets back after 10 days, am I going to send him out to troubleshoot a communicating system? No.
DC
he's
voltage.
not there yet.
Let's go.
He's not there yet.
Where would you say if somebody was green coming in, they came to your course, where would they be? Like, what would be a proper expectation of the owner when they come back, what they can do?
Pretty advanced maintenance tech, entry-level service tech, who will understand some of the basic problems you find out there because you can troubleshoot. Say he goes out on a no heat call, he'll be able to diagnose bad pressure switch, bad flame sensor.
So he'll know, like
basic
the
components.
stuff's not looking right. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this is not
And
normal.
kind of
Then we
pinpoint
can,
where it's at.
if we need to, we can dive into, let's get some tech support.
Yeah,
help.
well, if you teach the guy like sequence of operation on a gas furnace, okay, so I turn my thermostat on, and then the safeties go on, and then the inducer fan motor is going to turn on, which is going to turn on your pressure switch, which is going to turn on your igniter, which is going to turn on your gas valve, and then the flame sensor is going to make sure it all works. Well, if I teach him that, and the same thing on air conditioning, and he goes to turn the furnace on and nothing happens, well, all he has to do is start at the end and work his way backward and find out which component is bad. And the same thing on air conditioning.
In theory.
Yeah. Troubleshooting is nothing but understanding sequence of operation and working backwards.
So what about, you have a 96%, a 90%, an 80%. And then for our market, we have like 80% of what we have is heat pumps. So are you teaching defrost cycle?
Yeah, they learn the defrost cycle.
Okay,
we take them through the heat pump process
Okay.
as well.
Cool.
And like I said, it's extremely hands-on, and they have to do this. We also give them an EPA 608 test while they're there.
Oh,
if they
sweet.
haven't taken it. So we have about a 96% pass rate on universal. They just get it.
Good.
But those are the things they learn. But I've got them for 10 days, so they're going to get the basics, and they're going to come back. And when
so they don't
leave,
have the psychometric chart completely memorized. But
yeah, sure.
I don't know very many technicians
No.
that have been doing it for 20 years that had
No.
that guy memorized.
But and here's what we work in the field. We give them what we call a truck book. And a truck book
Okay.
is just a handbook of the basic problems they find in the field. So they know step by step what to do. We teach them to use the checklist that we use at our company to check every component on the heating and cooling system. So they know where they are, they know how to check them. But the truck book, when you open it up, and it'll come to about 80% of the problem. And the truck book says, you open it up, this is what you do, steps to take before you work on any heating and cooling systems. Steps to take when the condenser runs, the furnace doesn't. Steps to take when furnace doesn't, condenser runs. Steps to take when none of this stuff runs. So what'll happen for you as a service manager and for this tech is what used to be a tech that would go out there and panic and say, oh shit, I don't know what to do. But last time I saw something like this, the capacitor was bad. So put that in.
Parts changing.
And then, we're putting in capacitors, fan motors, all this other stuff. We put in $400 worth of parts, and then they finally call you and you say, okay, Bob, did you check and see if the breaker was on? Oh man, I forgot that.
Oh yeah.
So we walk through that entire process, and he's done all of those things. So instead of you as a service manager being on the phone saying, okay, did you check this? No, I forgot. Go check that and call me back 5 times.
Or FaceTiming, because that's the thing that I've gotten into the habit of doing. Like, hold that thing still.
Oh, that'll make you seasick.
Yeah.
But he'll have all his numbers because he's used to using our checklist. So if you have anything like that, he'll have all the pressures, he'll have all the temperatures, he'll have all the amp draws, he'll have all of that done.
Yeah.
And then he calls you back and he's gone through everything in the
so
checkbook.
if he calls me and that's not complete, I can just hang up on him.
Well, you could, I guess. You
Church
could tell
likes
me.
to hang up on people
Where's your
mid-sentence.
list? Where's your list at? What's all the? You got it? You got your number? No, I didn't get that click.
That's right. And that's kind of what you have to do.
Yeah, it is 100%.
So you guys primarily do HVAC. Do you guys? I know we've talked before. Do you have a plumbing program now?
Plumbing opens and our first class is December.
Oh,
So
awesome.
we
Okay,
have
cool.
people that are waiting to sign up for it now.
Is that going
Now,
to be the same, like a 10-day type of
10-day program. And then on the plumbing side, we've also got drains coming, drain patching, sewer lining, kind of an advanced class. And Alan Ferguson will be coming in by Zoom from Australia to help with that. And Scotty Irwin, who has a company over there, Australian Pipelining Supply, and he also has a sister company over here, American Pipelining Supply. They'll be in with us on the training there as well.
is he related to Steve Irwin?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, Crockies.
He does say good day.
Good day.
Yeah.
Cool. So the last thing that I want to ask you, because I think our time's wrapping up according to the camera, but what's the investment for this, and how does that work? Do we have to pay for a hotel separate? Does it include in the tuition? Are there VA scholarship? Like, stuff like that. of
Okay.
course.
The tuition, we were at $39.95 for a long time. I've dropped it to $34.95. That includes your
That's
EPA
cheap.
test. Yeah, it's cheap. But it includes EPA test and it includes your hand tools. It does not include the hotel. We
Yeah.
have a hotel that we do business with. They're about 10 minutes away from where the school is, and I think they're about $89.95 a night, something like that.
Mhm.
It's pretty reasonable, and it's a clean, pretty well located place. So what happens
Clean.
is, what happens is when the guys all get signed up, my assistant Colleen
Mhm.
will send everybody their email addresses so they can kind of carpool. We used to do a shuttle, but due to
That's what's
COVID,
happening.
they took the shuttle out
Okay.
because I guess you can get COVID from a van. I don't know.
Oh, chippos.
Yeah.
They figured a way to cut a corner.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that they cut that quarter so we don't have the shuttle. But we have 2 or 3 of them that'll usually rent a van or share or
Okay.
share an Uber in the morning.
Mhm.
And since our classes start and begin at the same time, and
Yeah.
you asked about end time, our classes end when the guys tell us it's the end of the day.
That's cool. Yeah.
We don't have a 4:00 shut off.
Yeah. So
we
if
have
they're
a-
like uncertain about themselves or like, look, man, this is clicking with me.
We'll stay as long as they want, even if it's one of them wants to stay.
That's cool.
Our instructor,
And then
I
then
will
he
both
gets
stay.
shanked at the end of the night because he's
That's
like,
right.
damn it, stop asking
Everybody wants to go to
questions.
the bar.
The old soap in the sock thing.
That's
Like,
right.
no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's cool that you stick around with them even after the fact because that's so important to make sure they get it.
The deal with this school is this. My clients that send me students, I've known most of them for years, and they're my friends.
Mm.
And my promise to them is I'm going to send you someone back that can do the deal.
Mhm.
And I take my promises seriously. I'm not going to send somebody back to you that can't do it.
Mhm.
I'm going to make sure that no matter what happens, he's
He's going to be
that
there for day
information.
11, day 12.
Yeah.
like-
Whatever. Coming back and put his resignation in.
No.
Yeah, but they know what
That's
they're doing,
cool.
and that's my promise to them. So our
Yeah.
days can go longer sometimes.
Mhm.
Sometimes where they're till 5:30 or 6, not that often.
Right.
But
right.
if they don't get it, we just stay.
Cool.
And how often you have new courses?
Usually
yeah.
once a month.
Once
Oh,
Once
okay.
a month. We generally don't have them in the middle of the summer. The June, July
Makes
thing.
sense. Mhm.
The guys say, well, I can't send them because it's summer. Well, my question is, if the guy doesn't know what the hell he's supposed to do,
What are you going to do
You're
all
gonna create
summer?
more work for
where the
yourself.
hell are you sending him?
Yeah. What's he going to do all summer?
Screw somebody's shit up before
Yeah, it's going to be
before he
like,
learns what to do.
yeah.
So,
And that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Really, realistically, I mean, we're going to talk real here.
mhm.
Oh, there's
On
time. Yeah.
time.
Man,
Look at
there's
that.
time. So, is there anything that we forgot to ask you, Joe?
A lot of people ask me, how should I pick the candidate?
Good point.
Make sure that he has some technical aptitude
Mhm.
and that he really wants to do it. Make sure.
Let me tell
that-
you a story about this
Okay.
mechanical aptitude nonsense here. I hired this guy and good personality, but more so, it was a friend of a friend whose son needed a job. And he was on the roof with one of my lead guys and had a drill, had his impact, and he had a handful of screws. And he comes back to my lead guy and says, "Hey, man, I need a different." He called it the drill bit. That's what he called it. A different drill bit. This one only goes out. It doesn't. The screws won't go in. I need a different drill bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right."
I would have loved to
That
see
guy's
the look-
fired.
I would have
Like,
loved to see
he's
the
an
look on
idiot.
his face.
But that was like not the first thing that he said that was ridiculous. But that was definitely the nail in the coffin. We're like,
You
all
should
right.
at least know how to work a screwdriver. Or
it's like click that button. He's like, oopsie.
Well,
But-
see, a lot of them have never had that experience, and smart people can ask you strange things. My assistant, and she's brilliant. She's been with me for 25 years. She had to go somewhere with me to pick something up, and we were going down the road, and the state road was working on the side of the road, and this guy was backing the tractor up. She said,
Oh,
"I
he's going
never
wrong."
knew those things would go backwards." And
We're gonna let you have a pass on this one.
Okay.
Next time, just keep that one to yourself.
That's right. But they should have some kind of technical aptitude, and make sure that they can talk to you. Don't.
Good point,
I
good
recommend they don't have. Nobody gets in this business because they want to be a public speaker, creative writer.
Mhm.
But they need to at least be able to look at you while they're talking.
Not looking
You
at the
know,
ground.
and-
That's a challenge though with the generation that we're
I know it is.
bringing in. I mean, they played video games all day, which they have no mechanical aptitude, and they don't have to converse with people. If they get
Well, they
pissed off
just-
at somebody,
They
they
just,
just
sit down at their phone. They don't
get out of their chat
know
room
how to
or whatever.
actually look at
Yeah.
something when they're
Yeah.
speaking. They type in a phone.
Yeah. You've got to change those habits. I mean, we've got 2 generations of kids with the fastest thumbs and the slowest asses in the world. So
True
so
story.
you-
That is going to be the quote of this show.
I love
That's
that.
like,
I'm gonna
yes.
highlight that one.
yeah.
Where's my little ticker at? Right there.
But, you know, you've got to teach them to hustle a little more.
Yeah.
You've got to teach them to step up and do things.
Put a little pep in your stuff.
You know, teach them, you know, ask them how important showing up on time is
Mhm.
and those things before you start. So, you know, if you've got somebody that doesn't give a damn whether he shows up at 8 or 10, you know, and I just showed up today, you know, he's probably not going to make it for you.
Right.
But, you know, just basic communication skills. The
Mhm.
rest I can pretty much take care of.
Cool. And where do we go to find to sign up?
Find us. You can go to our website at www.technicalartscenter.com.
Good, I got it right.
And that's arts with an
Technical
S.
Arts with an S.
Mhm.
We're doing some work on that website. So pieces of it, it's going to say, click to go here to fill out the enrollment form. Well, you can click to go there if you want, but you ain't going there. So the best thing to do is either hit the info@technicalartscenter.com or just call me on my cell phone. I just give my cell phone number. That's the easiest way.
You are brave. So
318-286-7742.
We will add that to
And,
the show notes.
I will answer whatever questions that you've got, you know.
Hopefully, there's no other marketing companies listening to this.
No, and I don't care. You know, I find it real hard anymore, and I kind of start looking before I do business with somebody on the internet. If they don't have a damn telephone number on there, I'm not doing business with them.
on their website.
Yeah.
Agree.
I got to talk to them
Yeah.
because
I don't like talking to people, but yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a total
You
turn
just-
off for me.
You just do a
It's like,
podcast.
yeah. They don't talk back. That's win-win for me. No, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, you for
Awesome.
hanging. We hung out a little bit at the Service World Expo and then
Uh-huh.
here, and it's like we were supposed to connect between the two of them, but it's been a madhouse, and so I'm super excited that we're able to finally get on. The
Well, I
show
feel
today.
honored to be on here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody has any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us and get your team signed up for. And what's the max that you typically had? Like,
We never take more than 10. I try to keep the class at about 8. You know, the hands
Per company?
per class.
oh, per class. Oh,
Per
okay,
class.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
when we do this live, I try not to take more than that because the hands-on portion of it is just so intense, and we have to
It really
be
is.
on
Yeah.
top of
You need to have an
everybody.
instructor that
to
can
do
actually
it.
watch what they're doing.
That's right.
Mhm.
We are there with them. taking
Old
things
Johnny,
apart and putting it back together.
he's shaking over there in the corner. I don't know what happened to it. It's like sparks flew and then he's shaking. I don't know. Somebody's got to handle him. You're like,
So
Don't worry
that's how
about
we
him.
do it.
Just
But
kick him.
send your guys to us. You'll be happy you did, and I promise you'll have the best entry-level tech in the world.
that's what's up. Thanks, Joe.
Awesome, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Service Business Mastery. Now that you are equipped with essential business advice from this impactful conversation, you are one step closer to becoming the successful owner of your dreams. If this episode has been helpful to your business journey, don't forget to subscribe to the show, leave a rating, and share it with other owners as well. Visit servicebusinessmastery.com to learn more.